All right, all right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Sorry, I was taking a sip. All right, let's get into this, shall we? This is going to be a collective message. All right, so we start with the Queen of Cups. By the way, it's great to be back, guys. I'm sorry now I've been away just a little bit on this weekend, but all is well, and it's nice to be back. We start with love, and possibly a Scorpio, a Cancer. Um, it feels like she's holding back almost in a sense of like concern. Um, I never love this card simply because she looks worried. Like her face shows apprehension. And I always wonder why. Why is she worried? What is she worried about? She's got maybe hovering in the back of her mind, she has the memory of three kings there. Let's just see. Normally, she's really loving, really emotional. So whether she does not have to be a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, but she certainly could be. And now we just double down on Scorpio. Something's changed a lot for her. Maybe she's suddenly become much more reluctant to offer her love. Hi, everyone. Great to see you tonight. We have Judgment. Okay, let's keep doubling down on some Scorpio vibes, right? She's worried about whether or not she wants to give her heart at this point in time because something has changed. All those long, lonely nights, you notice how there's this echo chamber of her alone in this bed, night after night after night after night. And now she's finally taken this leap and jumped through this mirror. And it's almost like she's gone into like a parallel universe where her life's going to be different than what she had waited and waited for something to come around. She made peace with the fact that all these lonely nights haven't changed. So you know what did change? I did. I changed, what I expect now. I changed what I want. And we got to know who she's looking at, right? Because it feels to me like she's sitting in, I always think, although I know she's in her castle, this always looks like a jukebox behind her. And I feel like she's sitting at a bar when he walks in or she walks in. And it's like, oh, hell no. I literally just let you go. I literally just cut the energetic cord. I literally today, this evening, promised myself I'm going out for the first time in who knows how long, however many echoes of lonely nights there have been. And I came out tonight to have a good time and to meet somebody new. And now you walk in. Let's just see. Who's she looking at? 10 of Wands. It may not be necessarily a who. It may be something about like she could see something that reminds her of the energy that she's recently released, because a 10 of Wands is laying down burdens and distress and fears, but she may be confronted with it one more time. So let's say somebody new walks up to her and she's like, I told myself I was, over stuff and I was ready to start all over again. But maybe instead I'm looking at you going, I don't know if I can start all over again. Not right now. Maybe I am still a little bit wobbly. Yeah, I got a lot of love to give. Maybe I should just give it to myself for a little bit first. Oh, Sabrina, you angel, thank you so much. May the fourth be with you also, Travis. I love that. Sabrina, you're so generous. Thank you, sweetheart. We have Prince of Swords. Okay, this energy of like, this is fast moving, right? This is too fast. So I'm going to say that she may suddenly meet a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I don't think this is an ex right now. I think this is somebody new who's like making a beeline to come talk to her. And she is realizing, I said I was ready to do things different, I'm not wanting to lay alone in a lonely bed anymore by myself. But I still think this is her saying, but I didn't know that I might meet somebody this fast. I mean, yeah, I went out to the bar with the jukebox, but this is like my first whatever. What's she drinking here? I would say shaped off of the glass alone, it's got to be some kind of Cosmo or some martini glass type of thing, right? I don't think it's wine. Could be, but I don't think so. We're going to say she's got some kind of martini, some beverage. And this might be her, I'm out to celebrate the fact that I'm, tonight I start a different life, or in this timeline, I'm going to start, mingling again. But she still is now confronted almost immediately with, I didn't think I was going to meet a king tonight. someone who's bold enough to approach me, straightforward. Here's the crazy part. This is a great king. So he's been looking. He's been looking for a long time for somebody special. You notice he's like been taking this big, huge like sword and like parting the ocean to look for what he's seeking. This is somebody who's wise. This is somebody who's kind. This is somebody who's powerful. And this is somebody who doesn't just approach any old body. He's specific in what he's looking for. And he spotted her. So he's moving toward her. Look, I think this is the story of a feminine who's maybe she's going to get exactly what she asked for. It's just that she didn't expect it to come in so soon. We need to pause for a second and say, universe, what's the message to her or the advice to her then? When you say that you're done with an ex and you say that you're ready for a different storyline, you know, sometimes that alone frees up all kinds of, you know, opportunities for you. But now she's almost wanting to like shut it down because she didn't expect that by just the simple act of her saying, I'm changing the way I do things. I'm not going to be hung up on an ex anymore. I don't think she realized that something could happen so swiftly. And universe weighs in and says, 7 of Wands. You only have as many hurdles as you choose to put in front of yourself. 7 is a divine number, so we know the divine is on her side. 7 of Wands, just because there are obstacles doesn't mean she doesn't have everything that she needs to get beyond it. And I'm not saying she should be like, okay, even though I feel like I'm not ready, since there's this hottie who wants to come toward me, I have to say yes. Of course not. But say no for the right reason. You know, if we're going to say no to something, say no because we don't want this. We're not ready. Don't do it for the sake of fear that shouldn't necessarily have to be there. You know, just evaluate. 7 is a number of change. So looking at things and saying, I said I was changing my role in life. I said I wanted to change the way I do things. Let me make sure that I'm staying true to what is right for me. Now, this does not say anything about like the universe is nudging her like, no, you need to just go for it because he's great. No. If anything, Ace of Pentacles, the universe reinforces you said you wanted to do things different and we're just giving you an opportunity. Maybe she could look at this as a practice run. Like this is her first opportunity to, now that she's going to do things different, she can meet this fella. And maybe in the past, she wouldn't have felt bold enough to say, thank you for approaching me so respectfully. It's really nice. I'm not actually looking. Maybe in the past, she wouldn't have said that. Maybe in the past, she would have been like, well, this person's approaching me, so I should give them my time. Maybe she would have been overly polite. You know, the reason I'm suggesting it that way is because the Queen of Cups is a sweetheart. And please bear in mind, this could be masculine, feminine, same sex, reverse gender roles, doesn't matter. But I'm going to keep saying she and he just because it'll help keep our characters straight as I describe them. But she's a real sweetheart. She is somebody who gives a lot. She's somebody who's very caring. She's somebody who's very empathic. She's very nurturing. So she's not going to want to hurt somebody's feelings. And maybe in the past, that's how she ended up with the wrong people. 3 of them, in fact, right? She got three king crowns. She might have let other people become her king in the past or queen in the past that they didn't treat her very nice, or she ended up alone again and again. Maybe her practice run is, even if somebody is wonderful, if she's not feeling it, because just because somebody's wonderful doesn't mean we're going to be attracted to them. Just because they want to ask us out, maybe we're not ready to be asked out right now. You know, she's allowed to be where she's at. And maybe her finding a diplomatic way to say, thank you so much. I feel really, you know, honored or really attractive, or, you know, thank you for making me feel special. I'm actually here tonight intending to just practice having a drink by myself because it's something I haven't done. I mean, she doesn't even have to give an explanation. It can just be thank you, but no thank you. Not, there's nothing in the world wrong with him. She's not there to meet him. She doesn't have to be. Finding a way to say no and not freaking out about, am I hurting their feelings? She has a right to say yes or the right to say no according to what she actually wants. And maybe this is just her practice run to practice doing things different. Like, where is her real obstacle? Does she immediately, like I said at the beginning, I didn't like the apprehension in her face. Like, oh my God, he's approaching me. I wasn't ready for this. Well, then say that you're not ready for this. That's okay. You don't have to say yes to someone, even somebody wonderful. Now, if they are really wonderful and they are really respectful and she is interested, by contrast, she shouldn't say, no, it's too soon. That would be pearl clutch. Like I can't possibly allow myself to date this swiftly. Yes, you can. You can do anything as long as it's right for you. And I think the universe is just kind of like saying to get over an obstacle, figure out what the old you would have done and figure out what the new you actually wants to do. There's a compass floating in the sky. The barn door is open, but we can see all the way through it. She shouldn't feel trapped. She shouldn't feel like if she does want to sit down and have a drink with somebody, she doesn't owe them anything. She doesn't have to go home with them. She doesn't have to start dating them. She doesn't have to give them any more of her time. If she wants to sit down and have a 2-second conversation or 2-hour conversation, she can call time. She can call limits on stuff. And I think that seems to be, I would read this story the same way if this had been a dude or a chick sitting here. Nobody should have to feel pressured that, okay, I have to say yes, or I have to give them my time, or I can start to give them my time, but if I change my mind now, oh man, how do I get out of this? It should be that you can stand up for yourself. And I think that's the more important message here, more so than, oh, did she meet her next romantic partner? This is her navigating. Again, we have swift moving action, and it's hard to think on your feet sometimes, especially as an empath. So if this empath is like, oh my God, but I'm going to have to figure out how to gracefully say stuff. I'm going to have to figure out what to say. And if I'm not interested, or if I start to be interested and change my mind, or if I'm interested and then really interested, what do I do? And this says, first off, she is so lucky. She is so lucky because although he may be very straightforward, look at how patient he is. He walked right up to her first. And then he's in this place where he's very straightforward, but he listens, which is a wonderful trait of a King of Swords, of great listeners. This is somebody who she may be stunned to discover she is very, very, very drawn to this hunk. And that could be why she feels apprehensive as well. Like, oh my God, how could I have just fallen for this dude who just walked in the room? This is ridiculous. Well, sometimes love goes that way, or at least sometimes it's worth exploring. He looks like he's plunking down, and he's very secure in being an active listener. I feel like she's this unnecessarily complex emotions spinning, inside, because I feel like this is a character of somebody who's guilting herself over what she feels, what she wants to do, what she doesn't want to do. Because I'm getting the vibe now that she actually is really drawn to him after she promised herself, I'm not dating anybody anytime soon. And then she goes and meets somebody, and it's like, but I want to move fast with him. Well, then move fast with him. Who do you got to answer to except yourself? We got the 9 of Swords. Yeah, she's super stressed because should I feel this way so soon? I don't know. Everything here just says this is all the drama is playing out in her mind right now. Maybe she's making herself feel more worried about stuff than she should be. What's the best advice for her on that? Knight of Pentacles. So go ahead and take it slow, but still be honest about what you want. Maybe she needs to tell him point blank, I'm super attracted to you. I had just promised myself I don't want to move too fast with anybody, but be honest, I want to get to know you. Do you mind if we take it slow? I don't want to give you mixed signals. I'm very interested, but I've promised myself I'm going to move really slow and get to know somebody thoroughly so that I don't jump ahead, because I've done that in the past. And again, maybe she just needs to have this little inside talk. Not everything has to be said outside to the other person. It's nice to be transparent, but it's also nice to sometimes just keep our inside dialogue to ourselves. Treat somebody respectfully, treat them with interest, and then just take it at the pace that we set. All of this to me says she just gets to turn and ask herself what she needs, what she wants, and take it at whatever pace she feels comfortable with. Because all this is about getting her beyond her kind of big stress around this. And again, you know what I really think? This is because she's empathic. That's a lot of flood of emotions because she's dealing with her own, and she's also dealing with other people's. And she knows all too well. Sometimes she's maybe ended up with partners that she nurtured, and maybe there's a reason they're exes. There's a reason we got 3 of them in the back of her mind. She learned these lessons that she's determined not to repeat, but then she finds herself feeling the feels. Only this time, every card that we're seeing now is really making me think she's really drawn to them, right on the heels of her promising herself she was not going to get, you know, pulled into someone's energy too swiftly. And then I think she meets, look, it'd be hard not to get pulled into his energy, right? Because we got an amazing, straightforward, I mean, he comes in fast at first to communicate, but then he's also like a really great listener, and he's sitting right there, looking her smack dab in the eyes, good eye contact. Like, how would you not fall for that? This sounds like a great, I mean, he is great. He's a king upright. So a great person to feel the feels for, right? Also, this is not somebody who's coming in wanting something from her other than he wants to get to know her. He's not a broken or wounded individual. So he's going to come on really like straightforward, very powerful. And that could also be something that would be highly attractive. I kind of feel like we've got an empath who's almost on overload because maybe for the first time ever, she's dealing with her emotions of like what she wants from him, right on the heels of saying, I'm not going to deal with anybody for a bit. That's universe. That's almost like, come on, can't cut her some slack here. Poor thing. She just got like thrown into all this so swiftly. 6 of Wands sideways. The universe is like, this is a great opportunity for her to like experience equal dynamic, like I'm enjoying talking to them, they're enjoying talking to me, we both are making each other feel like $1,000,000, we both feel like valued. You know, this is shared energy of 6 of Wands. She and this king could both feel amazing in fair, equal, balanced dialogue where they're both expressing, I'm interested in you. That would be lovely energy to share. The universe is like, this is a good thing. This isn't a mean little twist. This isn't a little, you know, head trip test that she has to ace. This is a chance for her to sit down and figure out, what does it feel like to be attracted to somebody who's mutually attracted to you, who wants to talk to you, who doesn't want anything else from you other than to get to know you. This is such a gift to like meet a king and a queen meeting at a really good space. The only problem is she hasn't had this before. I don't think she has a background for this. And that's the newness for her to navigate. Is she going to be able to do this, universe? Because I'm rooting for these two. I'm always rooting for our characters, but in particular, this one. 5 of Wands, the universe says, well, she's going to think about stuff a lot. She's going to go round and round and round in her head quite a lot. That song, Twisted by Christine and the Queens. Just the one little clip of the lyric, but I'm actually good. I can't even think of what the rest of the song's lyrics are or what it's about, but it's like, it's a very soothing like melody. And I'm that little part, but I'm actually good, keeps coming up. I think she's better than she thinks. King of Swords. Look, he's going to be a rock. He's going to be her sense of stability. He's going to pretty much, I think, show up very consistently. I think she may overthink it quite a lot. I do worry that she might sabotage just a smidge if she's not careful, over analyzing everything instead of just like enjoying the fact that here's this stable, secure, truthful, he's open, he's listening, he's, you know, conversing with her. And she's still like going around and around in her head. Could he be real? Is this for real? Like, only time will tell. Talking, spending time getting to know each other, and seeing that his words match his actions are going to be, I think that's like her biggest question mark, is like, could he be for real? Yeah, he's the real deal. I think she'll see it over time, but it may take a little bit of time for her to like get comfortable in this. And the universe is just saying that point blank. Thankfully, in this case, he is like her freaking angel coming into her life. The fact that he's that stable and secure, that's, you know, we got a pretty decent message earlier today also, a really like a divine masculine who came across as really well-rounded after some growth over on Tarot Dog today. And it just seems like we're getting more mature characters lately, you know, characters that are, you know, wrapping up cycles and just kind of like arriving as like more whole characters right now, which is really, really nice. We don't always see that trend. In fact, we rarely get to see that trend, but right now it's really nice. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Aras, great to see you. Hi, Nick. Travis Rhodes, that is so beautiful. That is awesome. Travis, such a great way to say that. Jeannie Vale, wonderful to see you. Hi, Decoded. Nikki O, hi, Beauty. So great to see you. Thank you again, Sabrina. Steve, hi. April Fresh, awesome to catch you tonight. RS, you're so sweet. Nor A, hi. Wendy Parker, wonderful to see you. Let me scroll back. Eliana. Des, hi, sweetheart. Hi, Miss Moody. Perrin, Carl. Tammy, hiya. I know it's almost like it's not quite 10 o'clock yet. I will be over on Tarot Dog one more time at 10 o'clock tonight, but it's so fun to see so many of the Night Owl crew here tonight. Angelina Davina, Amelia, Destar. Hi, Andrew. Sherry McQueen, great to see you. Dana, welcome, honey. I'm so honored that you made it to a live tonight. That's awesome. Oh, Artemis, shout out to you. Scorpio in the house. Oh, Rosemary, are you talking about this one? This is, oh my God, I love, this is from Street Priestess. I think I have 4 or 5 of her decks now, and I have one more on the way. About every 6 months, I indulge and I'll let myself buy another deck or two. And this time around, I had to buy 2 of her decks. I have coveted this one for so long. She's got amazing decks. She's over on Etsy, but just really great artwork. This is one of her other ones. I have like 2 or 3 others, also some Oracle decks of hers. I just don't tend to use Oracle decks as much, but you know, when I see beautiful artwork, I must have. I collect like art and I collect music. That's the only kind of stuff that I seem to collect. Okay, and cheap jewelry. I have a real thing for cheap tacky jewelry, guys. That is my weakness. I will say that. Ash Cash, Rosemary. Hi, Kayla. Holly, awesome to see you. Renee, thank you. Right back to you, love. Celeste, thank you, honey. Thanks again, Rosemary, for popping in. And Sunflowers, Moonflowers, Yvonne Garcia. And Jeannie Vale, you were first in the house tonight. All right, you guys, I'm going to bounce on out of here for right now. I'm going to go ahead and do 1 or 2 of the other zodiacs real quick, I think, and then we'll bounce over to Tarot Dog at 10 o'clock, okay? Aras, I'm glad you like the decks. I look long and hard to find ones that are just my faves. And yeah, I think there's a lot of great artists out there. Hi, Lily. Yeah, I was spending some time with my mama this weekend, so I was gone. I'm still intending, because the way my weekend and schedule is, I'll probably be up quite late tonight. So I will probably be doing videos. Probably, let's see, it's 9:30. I'll probably be up until at least midnight or later tonight. So we'll get other zodiacs done also. I'm sorry they're coming out so late, but sometimes you just schedule what you can when you can. So. Nikki O, shout out to you in Texas. Well, then this is probably the perfect deck, huh? With all the cowboy hats. I don't have any Western decks, and I'm from the West, and so I really, really like the Western look. But that's so awesome. I've never been to Texas, though, so shout out to you in Texas, my love. All right, you guys. Awesome. I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye for right now. EMD, hey. Thank you, hub. Thank you. Bye.